afraid that this whole tunnel is the fruit of their strenuous labor.
Huh? That gate. Has it been there all along?
Digging a tunnel to this ancient seal. Had they not been discovered, they would undoubtedly persevere to the gate.
So behind the seal bears. What do we do? We can't hurt them.
Power incarnate. But if you recall, Act.II, this is not how we intended for events to transpire.
Waste not your words. Your life is mine. Earth will not absolve you. This one's not enough. You would forsake me again?
If that is what you choose to believe, so be it. He who bears the weight of memory is destined to shoulder the burden of truth, as it ought to be. Stabilize.
Steady as stone.
Biasa! Morax! You think you can destroy me?
Order guide you. Solidify.
Leave it all to me.
Solidify.
I'll catch you. Steady as stone. No, my sword.
Morax! 1,000 years after you sealed me underground.
You should call it by its name, Act.II. Fate.
Fate? Fate? So here lies the wisdom of the gods. Destroy all deemed redundant.
No. You have forgotten.
That voice!
Ace-Daha.
Huh? Kunjun?
Morax. It's been a while. Ace-Daha. The very same.
During the battle, you imbued us with your power.
Yes, it was all I could manage. Forgive me for concealing the truth, traveler. There were things. Allow me to elaborate. I am not a heaven and earth, yin and yang, opposing forces. You can consider the existence of me and the Ace-Daha.
So there are two Ashta?
No, it can't be.
When the seal loosened, your power manifested in this world as a child. With this new identity, you were able to vent. That's when it occurred to you. The loosening of the seal constituted an opportunity to strike back.
The audacity! Are you insane?
I was another power awakened with the loosening of the seal. Too weak to reincarnate. I was barely conscious. I couldn't remember who I was. Only the past would elicit a reaction from...
I had sensed that something was amiss when you mentioned Dragonfall.
Don't blame yourself. I have changed beyond all recognition. It's been so long. A secret beyond all comprehension of youthful humanity.
There would be no harm in it. The decision is yours.
You haven't changed. Then allow me. Ace-Daha was once a friend and ally of the Geo-Archon Morax, with a lifespan far exceeding that of mankind. The memories of rocks do not last long. Those memories that survive are rooted in powerful emotion. Erosion ground Ace-Daha's consciousness into oblivion. Slowly, Ace-Daha, now incomplete, became irascible.
What would you expect? It was humanity that attacked the...
This much is true, which is why you attacked the chasm. Why you, in the beginning, in order to open up new territory and increase production, the citizens of Liyue came to the mountains to mine. Erosion made us even more savage. No matter how we struggled, we lost. Morax shared with us some of his power to prevent further erosion. And so, we became you. And from your will, I emerged. I am your final contract. Witness the promise between Ace-Daha and Morax.
No. No.
I am the remnants of Ace-Daha's benevolence, the echo of a contract set in stone. I harbor a willingness to go.
No. It is I, Ace-Daha, forged of elemental crystal, bearer of the weight and memories of the earth, older than the mountains and...
Morax is not an insect.
A lord over insects is nothing but an insect in turn.
You forgot yourself. Nobody held Morax in higher regard than you or I. That which you have forgotten, I hold here in my heart. If you are the memory of the earth, then all powers under heaven rise and fall of land and sea.
A star appears within the wild. A sun ascends as bright as... Strange. What is this feeling?
You are spent, and I will soon disappear. Before, in the wilderness, snow falls on a spring day. In an instant, it will melt, even where it is fleeting.
No, that isn't true.
Perhaps it isn't, but it remains an inevitable misfortune.
More axe.
The little girl vanished.
Are you satisfied, Act.II?
I had to make amends. Satisfaction had no part in it. So, Morax, you call yourself Zhongli?
I do.
Well, I'm afraid old habits die hard.
As you please.
I never did forget your gift of sight.
I hardly lifted a finger. Think nothing of it.
And yet, you could see. You wouldn't know the yearning of a blind dragon, searching for the sun.
Your power is nearly spent. Shall we get going, you and I?
Surely the pressing matter is still that of the miners trapped outside the seal.
Indeed. Hence the need to get going. To fix the damage left in your wake.
Straight down to business as always.
Huh? How did we get here? We need to go back and check on the miners.
So there you are. My men and I found your clues and followed them straight here. We found Mao in a tent at the campsite unconscious. It seems he'll be okay. Young Kun, what?
Nothing. Pay it no mind. Those 3 miners are over there.
Cave? What happened?
They're exhausted, but not in danger. Don't worry.
Right. Well, thank you, all of you. I better go and see how they're doing.
So you're taking them back to Liyue Harbor?
That's right.
Can I come with you?
No problem. You rescued my men. I'll be happy to assist all of you in any way I can. I'll be back soon.
Kunjun! We should be calling you Act.II. You're coming back to Liyue.
Not I. Merely this body. Once I'm gone, the true owner will accompany the miners back to Liyue. Kunjun hails from a family of famous artisans. He too will be famous in time.
You always did have a great admiration for...
Curious how swords and daggers are blind, yet their creators see so much. Perhaps...
Act.II. I am no longer the Geo-Archon.
I can sense it.
Today I am just an ordinary citizen of Liyue.
Even you met such a fate. Let's get the difficult part out of the way.
No matter. If that day comes to pass, Liyue must prepare itself to face you.
And how will Liyue fare without Rex Lapis?
Even without a god above, this remains a nation of men. I was once their god. I ought to be here to witness their rise and fall.
All life is shaped and then ground away by the endless flow of time. You were always the strongest among us. Yet, it would seem that even that's unimportant. Fate is ordained by heaven. You may live forever, doomed to a lonely existence. Yet, even this is temporary. When you reach the end of time, those people...
I do not pretend to match your rhetoric when it comes to the subject of a life long lived. I fear that the life of an elemental being is longer than any in this world.
Were it not so, you would have killed me long ago, and would not be having to face me.
You've brought a smile to my face. When all is said and done, a reunion between old friends is an auspicious...
That day in the chasm, did you hesitate?
A heart of stone is a heart nonetheless. But I am the god of contracts, and was for a time a god of the people of Liyue.
You chose justice, but did not forsake your kindness. You came to me not as an assassin, and so I was willingly sealed away.
The movements of the Earth Dragon can tremble the earth and shake the heavens. With your abilities, even at my full strength.
Hence, my inception. Do not forget that I was there with Liyue's founder. The face may have changed, but the content of the contract remains intact. Old friend. God of contracts.
Thank you, Act.II.
My life is at an end. I will join the eternal flow of time. And you, Morax.
You're leaving?
If it is fated, Morax, we will meet again.
Yes. Don't be alarmed. He's only a...
Whoa, that was so weird. It was like he suddenly
In fact, we have yet to meet the real Kunjun. He was. Centuries may have passed since then, but events from 1,000 years ago.
In our last tale, Rex Lapis was walking alone in the mountains. He heard a remote voice, unlike any other, coming from a crack in the earth.
Most of the ancient geo-life forms that live below Liyue are blind, having not seen the sunlight for an age.
The voice was sometimes sad and song-like. Other times it was loud and thunderous. The Lord of Geo searched here and there before finally unearthing a strange stone from the bedrock.
That's how Act.II was. I answered his wish and took him above ground.
The Lord of Geo took pity on the rock spirit and carved it into a magnificent work of craftsmanship, a vivid representation of a dragon.
I bestowed him with a pair of eyes to see the world and came to an agreement with him.
With his fingers, he made 2 eyes, quicker than words could tell. Lightning flashed and thunder roared, and a living, breathing dragon soared into the clouds.
I agreed to let him live among the people above ground. But if the day ever came when he brought ruin to order, he would once again be sealed in the dark.
The dragon accompanied the Lord of Geo, fighting campaigns alongside him in the 4 corners of the world. We have a saying to eulogize these events. The crash of a spear brought billowing dust. The mountains and waters made way at the sound. The sight of a dragon bestowed with a touch the promise of rainwater blessing the ground.
A 1,000 years ago, Act.II attacked the chasm. I tried to obstruct him, fighting him tooth and nail down the length and breadth of the mine. During that battle, Dragonfall was born. Act.II could sense the stone, despite being the victor. I could not claim to be stronger than he, and in his heart, he still retained an ounce of goodwill. He was willing to be sealed away. But as the erosion set in, he forgot. Even I cannot avoid it. But there is something I understand better than most. The greater the power, the greater the danger erosion may bring about. The millennia may come and go, personally sealing away an old friend. People abandon and surrender the things they love to pursue the right path. But I was a god of mankind. My identity may change, but my eyes will bear witness to the history of...
You still care a lot about Liyue.
Call it... I must thank you both.
No worries.
Oh? About what?
Oh, yeah. Paimon nearly forgot. So, not long ago, we met a guy called Dane. He told us about Conria and the punishment of the gods. That's when we realized that those events were connected to the person we're searching for. Zhongli, you're a god. You've lived through thousands of years of history. Surely you experienced the...
I cannot say.
Why? You can't even give us a thread of information? This is so important to us.
I understand. But I must apologize. This is my contract.
You mean another past grievance? Like the incident with Act.II? Too painful to talk about?
It was signed before it all began. I have always honored the contract. And kept my silence.
How can you be like that?
You two are friends to me. I can assure it brings me no pleasure to disappoint you. But as the god of contracts, I cannot go back on my word.
Would you be ready to find out?
It appears your understanding of this world continues to grow. There are many events of ages past. Many secrets that lie hidden. They have been eroded by time, forgotten by the people. But you are capable of finding them and bringing them into the light. Those who come to witness will witness. Those who are born to remember. If you take the same road as that person, there may be more difficulties ahead. But as long as you firmly believe that you are on the right path, this tablet was erected by Mountain Shaper. It names Act.II as a terrible dragon, and serves... It's a shame. There is a fine line between good and evil. If the good and